Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to part 3 of this series. The previous 2 videos I showed you how to create the mileage tracker and how we tied in our daily income with the weekly expenses. So if you haven't watched those videos, go ahead and watch those. And if you would like this spreadsheet and you don't want to go through the tutorial, I have left a link in the description below. So let's go ahead and let's create the total month summary now. We have everything ready to go for all 4 weeks. Now we just want to see the total for everything. So we can go ahead and just copy this table. And we'll delete some rows that we really don't need. So since we already have the tax, savings, and profit, we're going to delete these rows right here. Alright, and let's go ahead and insert a row here. And if you ever need to adjust these, you just click on the edge here and you can drag it up. So now I want to put in the total operating expenses. And this gives us, well, let's go ahead and delete this row as well. We don't need that total. Okay. So now we want the sum of all of our expenses for the month. Make this bold. Alright, so now the next thing is we just need to get the numbers in. So we'll do equals. So for our first revenue stream for my bookkeeping, I'll come to my daily income and I just want this total number right here. Same thing for the Uber. Our mileage deduction, we want the total, so we'll go to our mileage tracker, and for our deduction rate total. The home office we don't track on any other tables besides what we have in our week to week. So for here we'll do equals the sum of each week, and then you just separate it with a comma to get the next value. We got all 4 weeks. Our fuel savings we have in our mileage tracker. The auto repair. Okay, and our taxes will be the same for the week to week. So now we have our tax savings, but since we have a tax savings for both the bookkeeping and Uber, we need to capture both numbers. So we got the bookkeeping, Uber. So we want to make sure we get that total in. Same thing for the profit. And I just separate these out just because they're in separate bank accounts. So I like to make sure I know which revenue stream owes how much. Alright. So now that we have these totals here, we're going to need this total net number. So we'll do equals the total gross minus total operating expenses. And this is the total amount that we are paying ourselves to our personal account. That's the number that I'm always looking for. Now, what I like to do is I'll put a goal amount that I need, and I get that goal amount from whatever my budget is. So we'll look into that in a later video, and we can create a table to actually get a full budget for ourselves. So whatever that number may be, let's say it costs you $4,800 a month to pay for normal expenses. We're gonna do equals the total net. This is what we're paying ourselves minus what we actually need to get to by the end of the month. So what I like to do is we'll click on this cell, the gain loss, we'll do format, conditional formatting. Now we can actually either have it green or red depending on if we've reached our goal for that month. So we'll say if this number is greater than 0, we'll keep it green. And if it's less than 0, we'll have it red. And then we can add one more to say if it's equal to 0, we'll just have no filling. So now you'll see that it's green. If our budget was at 6,000, then it'll turn red. So this is a good way for us to just see overall as we're going through the month to see if we've reached our goal or not. And I'll just do one more thing here. Let's put a border to separate this out. So now I want to see the total percentage. So I want to know what the percentage of my fuel savings is compared to my total gross amount that I'm making. So we'll do equals this number divided by our gross. And we'll change that to a percent. Now we could just drag this down, but the problem is it's not going to work because we need to lock this cell. So you'll see in this formula it's trying to find this number, but since I dragged it, this number will be right, but we need it to stay on the total gross. So all we need to do is go back to that formula and put a $sign in between that gross cell to lock it. Now we can drag it down and we'll get our percentages. This one we'll do separate. We want this total operating divided by the total gross. And this will give us the total percentage for the expenses compared to our gross amount. So it's costing me 23% of my total gross to be able to pay for my operating expenses. So that's a very important number that we want to know. So from here, this is all done for the whole month. So we'll just rename this month summary. And now we can go ahead and copy this into our year summary. So I also have this month, so when you are completed for July and you're ready to go to August, you just click on this arrow and you'll hit duplicate. And that will create a whole nother spreadsheet for you with everything that you need. And I guess I could just show you how that works, because what it'll look like, it'll keep all the numbers in there, So all you need to do is go into your income, and you'll want to take out just the numbers that you put in. So you can see this is all zeroed out. You'll go into your miles, and you just want to delete the miles that you manually put in. So now this is zeroed out. You'll see all your week to weeks are at 0. And this will stay at 0 besides your budget. And you can change this whenever you need to. Because this does not let you divide by 0, we can actually change this to another if function like we've been doing before. So we'll say if the gross is equal to 0, then we'll leave it at 0. And we'll do the same for this. Okay, so that's what we want it to look like. And then you could just change the name to August, and this is what it'll look like. One more thing that we can add is our total miles. So let's go back into July. We'll give ourselves a little bit of room. So we can have July. We'll make this a little bigger. And we can just put miles. I like to put the oil change just to keep track. When I do get an oil change, I'll just put whatever mileage it was at the time. So we'll say we have the Volvo. And if we have other vehicles, we could just put this in and we'll have a total. This will just equal the total miles at the bottom from our mileage tracker. So now at least we can see how many total miles we drove for that month. And of course, if you have other vehicles, you'll just do the sum of the total. Alright. So now let's go into our year summary. So we're going to go ahead and copy this over. Alright. And now we'll say we're going to change these totals. So we want the total of all the months. So we'll go in here. I'm just going to move this over. Okay. Because it just won't let me. And we're going to say this is going to be the sum of all the months. So wherever you're starting from, it should be January, but you'll go into January. Since we're starting in July, click on this total sum on the month summary. Go to the next month, click on that, and then you'll hit enter. And this should sum up everything for all the months. And you'll just go across for every single one. So we got the Uber total. You want all of our mileage deductions. Our home office. fuel. And once you start doing this throughout the months, you only have to do it each time. So once you get to September, you just have to do this one time. You'll go into September and you'll just add that in. So let's say I only have July. So then once it's August, I'll come back in here. I only have July. Click on this, hit the comma, I'll come into August, and I'll just add that in. Same thing for the tax. I have July, I need to add August. Profit. And there we are. We can go ahead and delete these rows. We'll change this to yearly summary. And that's it. And now you're set up for the whole year. So each time you get a new month, you'll just add this in, and then by the end of the year, your whole spreadsheet will be ready to go, and you can just copy that over to the next year. So that's basically all you would need for the month summary. I mean, this is why I decided I wanted to make these spreadsheets, because I wanted to organize it in a way where I could pay myself on a monthly basis, and I could come in here and I could see exactly how much I've paid myself and the percentages of how much I need to save on a month-to-month basis. This gives me the total summary of what I'm trying to achieve. So on my next video, we're gonna create an actual budget, so then we can get these numbers, we'll get the actual numbers, and we can compare it to our savings to see if we need to adjust throughout the year. So I'll get into that on the next video, and once we get a budget going, I will then transfer going from Google Sheets, and I'll show you how to do a budget within QuickBooks. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.